Good grief, y'all. Good grief. Okay, number one, hello. I am Lindsey. I am attempting to go live several different times right now, just to talk about a few thoughts and things that I've had over the past several days. And if you caught the live on either one of these, I commend you for coming back if you did come back. I had a first live stream about 20 minutes ago that was interrupted. Somehow my internet glitched and I could not retrieve that one, and I thought it was uploading. It was not. It was not. And then I pulled in a part two, but I basically carried the conversation on as if it was part one. As if part one had been viewable by y'all. That was not the case. That was definitely not the case. And so part two made marginal sense at first, and so I decided, let's scrap the whole thing. Let's start from square one. So hello, I am Lindsey. I am a stay-at-home homeschooling mom of 3 precious little girls. My husband is our only May's stuck in a whole sorority of women around here, and I love him dearly. We live in the Ohio, and I like to eat a low-carb keto way of life with an emphasis on high protein. And I titled this Becoming a Plantie-Auntie because I have taken up the newest hobby of mine, which is attempting to keep indoor house plants alive as opposed to outdoor house plants or indoor non-house plant. You know what I'm saying. Hello, Go Fish. Welcome. I don't know if you were here on the other two, but yeah, I'm glad to have you here today. And to anybody on the replay, hello. This is me. I am not well thought out. I am not well presented, and we're just rolling with the punches right now. If you are here on live, I would love for you to say hello. Go Fish has definitely spoken up, and I love it whenever she is on my live streams. So, what else? Okay, let me refocus. I titled today's video as Becoming a Plantie-Auntie because that is the new hobby I am attempting. I would like to give a minor backstory, if I may. Oh, thanks, Go Fish. I am struggling hard, and we're gonna keep on plowing through because that's all we can do. So back over a year ago, I bought a snake plant to attempt to keep alive because I had read many things about how easy they were to keep track of, how easy they were to manage and maintain, and they were really pretty. I love green. It's actually my favorite color, so I wanted to bring some green into my house. We are not actively putting stuff on our walls in this house because eventually we would like to rent it out, and I, along with my husband, do not want to go through and fill lots of holes. So one of the ways we can bring some warmth and life into the house is to add some plants. I have a few faux plants, but I decided to venture into the world of real plants. So you missed my other ones. Oh, no worries, Go Fish. No worries. My hope is that I can make better sense this go around anyway. And now we have a lovely little tiny white spider who is just making the rounds on my stand here. That's distracting. Oh, it's trying to build a web. Wonderful. Okay, we're refocusing. So I bought a snake plant after learning that it was a very simple plant to manage and maintain. I was doing okay with it, but then I failed miserably. I overwatered it, I underwatered it, I let it get scorched by some sun. I was the worst plant owner on the planet. And so this go around, I have decided I'm going to try again. I bought a snake plant, and thus far I've kept it alive for almost 4 months, I believe. So I'm feeling very, very pleased with that progress. I also have a bamboo palm that I have kept alive for just as long. And I just recently got a peace lily that it's yet to be determined whether I can keep this thing alive or not. And The original snake plant, I had no clue what I was doing. This time around, I'm trying to be more diligent, and I named it a Plantie-Auntie because a lot of people in the houseplant realm like to call themselves plant moms or things of that nature, and that's awesome for people. I do not feel I am intuitive enough to understand what a plant needs. So I feel I am doing much more like whenever an aunt takes care of a newborn for the mom so the mom can go and have 30 minutes to go grocery shopping without the baby. The aunt comes in and the aunt babysits and is trying to, like do all the stuff and things. The baby starts crying. Aunt has to figure out what to do. Mom said XYZ would work. XYZ is not working. What are we doing? We're troubleshooting. So that's why I feel like a plant aunt and not a plant mom. It's not intuitive to me. It requires much mental effort, much time in discerning what is going on here, trying to read the signs, misreading the signs, all of that jazz. All of the things, trying to figure it out. So Plantie-Auntie it is for me. Plus I thought it sounded fun, and I just like the rhyming. Oh, the bee is back. If you were here earlier, oh, the bee is back. We have a bee. And I'm trying very much so to allow the bee to do its thing while I do not interfere, but the bee came to me. You saw me, I was not moving. Anyway, so the Plantie-Auntie thing. On Monday, I started really thinking through some of these things. We went on a little mini vacation a month ago, not a month ago. It's only been a few weeks, I suppose. And when we got back, I realized that my plants were starting to fade. So my snake plant requires very little, and I had put it in a self-watering pot. And whenever we got back, it had been well over a month since I had filled that plant pot with water for what it needed to do. So I thought, oh, I'll just water it from the top. It'll all filter down. It'll all drain down to the bottom. Well, I overdid it and that plant was waterlogged. And then my bamboo palm was dry, brittle, and they require different environments, which was a really poor choice on my part. Let's just be honest. The bamboo palm requires a humid environment. The temperature was for sure right, and it requires more light than what I was able to give it in the spot I had it. I thought it was getting enough light. It was not. Excuse me. And I was not watering it in a consistent way. I should have been watering it weekly. Instead, I was sort of treating it like my snake plant, and then like it just was not going well. I was thinking I was doing well, but in reality, I was not. So Monday, I spent time depotting, investigating the root systems, making sure I didn't have any root rot or any other issues, clearing out some of the dead junk. My bamboo plant, it had two rather large fronds coming up and out, or two what are they called? Habits, I guess. I'm not good at the words with my plants yet. I'm still figuring it out. So I had fronds coming out of one and fronds coming out of another. One of them dried up completely, and I went to go and inspect the thing. And as I inspected the thing, it just sort of fell off in my hand. And I thought, which spurned my entire adventure with depotting, investigating, giving them each fresh potting mix and the proper amount of hydration. And as I was doing those things, I was realizing that in our ways of eating and in regular life, if we are doing one thing and it seems to work for a little bit, but then we start to notice that it's just slowly devolving and things are not going as well as we thought, it's kind of hard to troubleshoot things well. I will just start throwing everything at myself all at one time if things are not going well nutritionally or emotionally or physical stress factors. It's just, I just start throwing everything but the kitchen sink at myself for troubleshooting my problems, which is something that I do with my plants. And then I wind up devolving even further to the point where I'm like, well, it's all done. It is all done. And so sometimes digging things up from the root and just taking a look at them and assessing things a little bit more intentionally and taking the time to dig a little deeper can really benefit us and obviously benefit our plants. And I think that oftentimes well, number one, the plants can't talk, which I would hope is an obvious factor at this point. And so you have to use certain levels of critical thinking skills as well as some investigative tools. You have to be willing to diligently observe the plants. I keep looking down and over here because over here is where I had, managed my plant stuff and things. And so I'm, remembering how I had deep potted everybody to sort everybody out. So taking the time to be observational, to be discerning, to dig deep and try to assess what is the root of the problem here is really, really good. And I think oftentimes what happens is we either just coast until we can't coast anymore and we have to start all over, like I did with my snake plant. I had to scrap the other plant entirely. I let it die, and I had to get a new plant in order to attempt this whole experience all over again. And I think sometimes we do that with ourselves, and instead of keeping what is good and trying to revive what is good and just course correct as necessary. I was using in my first 2 live streams the concept of cruise control and how our with our health and our wellness, we don't have cruise control, but we can get up to a top speed and we think, oh man, we're doing awesome. This is everything. I've got my food prep done. I've got my meal plan sorted out. I've got ideas for days. Let's do this thing. And then as you work your way through that time, everything just starts, you take your foot off the gas because you're like, I've already figured the things out. I don't need to continuously refigure things out because things are working. And you just slowly kind of devolve and decelerate. And then all of a sudden you've eaten all of the snacks you've prepared and you have not taken the time to put your foot back on the gas to get back up to that level of cruising. And you realize your cruise control doesn't actually exist. And sometimes you can course correct quickly, and other times you just devolve all the way down to here and you think, what can I shove in my mouth right now because I am starving for a snack and I didn't prepare any more snacks. And then you realize like, oh, all I'm doing now is just relying on tons of nuts and cheese and pork rinds, and then you slowly bring yourself back up because you're like, this has to change. I need to do a little prep. So you do a little something, and then you do a little more, and then you finally come back up to the top of this cycle and you're like, okay, I'm better. And it's the same way with the plants. Like I allow myself to decelerate. Like, oh, okay, the snake plant doesn't need any water. It's sitting pretty up here. And then it just slowly, and then it comes to about here. And I'm like, oh, I should probably rev it back up and double check. And let's just do a quick check-in with the plant. Instead of doing that, I think, oh no, it's fine. And then I just slowly keep eking down to the bottom. And then I realize we are in like, we're code bluing with this with this particular plant. We got to do something, and then you throw all the things at it, and then you devolve further. Or you say, ooh, we got way too low on this. Let's just like lightly water, and let's just lightly investigate, and let's just like, and then you work your way back up into homeostasis. So I don't know. I just had a lot of these thoughts going through my head on Monday. I had wanted to make sure, I had wanted to discuss those things on Monday. And on Monday, 10 seconds after I hit the live stream go live button, my 4-year-old was having a come apart, as one of my friends calls it. She was in distress. She had woken up from her nap in a nightmare state. So, and because I was sitting out here instead of in the kitchen where I usually am, she panicked. And so she had come out and she was in an emotional distressed moment. And so I went to go attend her, and by the time that everybody had settled down, I never really thought twice about my live stream. And the next day I went and thought, oh, I should go back and try to do that again. I thought I had deleted the live stream immediately. That was not the case. People had commented, and I thought, it's going to raise even more questions and cause even more levels of concern if I delete now. So maybe instead I'll just go live and clarify, like, everything is good to go now. I wish I would have said that at the beginning of this live stream, but I failed. The first live stream I had done this afternoon, I did say those things first, but this go around I did not. So This is usually what happens in my actual like edited videos. I say things more than one time, because I say it wrong, or I confuse myself, or feel like it might be confusing to others, and then I edit the things and pray that I am able to get them in some sort of cohesive fashion. It doesn't always happen that way. So anyway, that is really all I had to share. Just thinking through the whole, like, we gotta keep our foot on the gas. We can't really, you gotta be discerning about the things, right? And I am learning that in real practical ways every single day. I have not arrived, and I don't know if I ever anticipate arriving to the state where I no longer have to remind myself that the things we do to maintain the things we want is an active process that you don't ever get to coast through in order to achieve. So, lots of things, lots of like weird interconnected conversation here. So if you follow me, I salute you. And if you don't, I understand that too, because I can definitely go around the circle and back through it and up and down and crisscross ways and every which way. And my brain usually connects unrelated ideas in ways, and I am not the best at describing how things are connected. And that that's on me. So if you get confused, it's probably not you, it's probably me. But thank you, Go Fish. I appreciate you encouraging me through that. I do love to put content out. It's just a wonky season. And going live is definitely a little bit easier than trying to put together content. So I do have to go in and refilm my ranch and Chipotle ranch videos at some point. So I hope to get that done. I'm trying to figure out my lighting. That's been my number one struggle. I figured out that, if I can't talk my way through a video in real time, then I can just voice over it. That's totally fine. I don't have any problems with that anymore. But the lighting things, if you can't see what I'm doing, then what's the point to sharing the information, more or less? That's kind of my current focus on how to get stuff out. But anyway, I think I'm gonna let y'all go. Thanks, Go Fish. I'm gonna let y'all go. I am going to go. I need to reheat my dinner from last night as my leftovers, because I'm pretty sure it has cooled off tremendously in the past 30 or 40 minutes that I have been trying to do all these things. So yeah, like and subscribe if you wish to do so, dislike if you wish to do so, because I use all of the information y'all give me from the feedback in order to figure out what to do next, or attempt to do next. Let's say that, because let's just be realistic here. I'm just plodding my way through right now. If you want to leave a comment on the replay, I would love to hear from you. I really appreciate y'all who have been here in the live stream, and I hope to see you in my next video.